एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। आई होप आप लोगों की तैयारी अच्छी चल रही होगी। लेस देन 40 days are left for our APFC and enforcement officer examination. So today I am back with another video of PYQ series. So this time we are seeing economic questions from enforcement officer 2020 exam. So the notification came in 2020, but actually due to COVID, exam was held in 2021. And from economy subject, the total questions which were asked were six. Now only six questions came, whereas in 2016 enforcement officer paper we had 12 questions from economy subject. Now the weightage may vary everywhere when the paper is happening. So again we can expect at least 6 to 10 questions from economy subject. This time when questions were asked in 2020, economy questions were quite easy in nature, and they were quite different from last time which were asked in 2016 examination. There were no questions from microeconomics this time, whereas we had questions in APFC as well as enforcement officer 2016 paper from microeconomics. So now let us start with this economic PYQs, and don't forget to like the videos and subscribe the channel if you are finding this PYQ series helpful. So the first question on your screen is, according to Economic Survey 2020-21, which one of the following will be India's real GDP growth in the year 2021-2022? So they are asking the real GDP value as per economic survey. So at that time, COVID was going on, so economy was trying to bounce back, and economic survey had predicted that the real GDP will be around 11%. So here you can see the screenshot from the economic survey of that time. V-shaped economic recovery was is what that economic survey had predicted that time because of the mega vaccination drive with the hopes of robust recovery in services sector. So estimated real GDP growth for financial year 21-22 at 11%. So 11% is the correct answer here. So again, for this year's examination, we have to prepare the economic survey. At least the basics of economic survey should be prepared for this year's examination, and the budget document. So economic survey of last year, that is 20 2022-23, and budget of 2023-24. So these two documents should be prepared for this year's examination. We again might get question on similar lines. The next question is very easy. Now you can classify this question in polity also, because in Lakshmikant we read about Niti Aayog, whereas I have classified here in the economic category. So they are asking us the full form of Niti in Niti Aayog. Acronym they are asking. So it is B, National Institution for Transforming India. So in last exam also they asked on the bodies, whether constitutional, non-constitutional, or statutory bodies. So similar questions can be expected again this time based on the various bodies we have in our country. So here they had asked us a very simple question, but again they might see the or ask us the objective of that body. Why was Niti Aayog replaced by means planning commission was replaced by Niti Aayog? What is its task force composition of Niti Aayog? So such kind of questions can be asked. Third question is, which one of the following is not a correct description of Namami Gange program? Now in economy, schemes are very important. As you can see in my earlier economy video as well, they had asked us the questions from Stand Up India Enterprise. Then they had asked us the question from Startup India Policy. Then they focused on the scheme of for adolescent girls for their overall development, Sabla scheme. So basically, they are focusing on the major schemes or the flagship schemes which are in news, which have been launched by government in last say 5 years. So this Namami Gange was launched in 2015, and they are asking us the incorrect statement. So it was asked, it was launched in basically June 2014, and the budget outlay was rupees 20,000 crore for this Namami Gange program. So if you go through the options carefully, you can see that B option, it primarily covers villages in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Odisha. Now Odisha is doubtful here because Odisha is not a Ganga basin state. Ganga basin state. Odisha is not a Ganga basin state. We have total of 11 states which falls under this Ganga basin state, and Odisha is not a part of Ganga basin state. So by this logic you can clearly say that this is not a correct description of Namami Gange program. Now what was the objective of this scheme? So the you have to prepare the objective as well. The objective of the particular scheme. There were two main objectives. First is the abatement of pollution, to minimize pollution or to reduce pollution. So abatement of pollution was the first objective. Second objective was conservation and rejuvenation of river Ganga. So the focus was on conservation and rejuvenation of Ganges river or Ganga river. So these were the twin objectives of Namami Gange program, Namami Gange program. So the other options are correct here. It is an initiative of Ministry of Jal Shakti, then open defecation free, to make villages open defecation free, and to transform some villages on the banks of river Ganga as Ganga Grams. So these are the correct options. Now moving on to the next question, again from scheme. Which one of the following is not an objective under Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana? Again, they have asked us a scheme from agriculture. So this scheme falls under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And basically this PMKSY has four components. This scheme has four components. And you should be knowing what are its four components. The first is Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program. Acceleration, Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program. Then Har Khet को पानी, हर खेत को पानी. Then per drop more crop, per drop more crop. And the last one is watershed development, watershed development. So these are the four main components of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So if you go through the options carefully, you can see here that the A option is irrelevant here, providing subsidies to use fertilizer, high yielding variety seeds and pesticides. So this is not is what this scheme talks about. And if you go to the website of PMKSY, so you can clearly see the as it is they have lifted the statements from its objective. So the main objective is to achieve convergence of investment in irrigation at field level. So this is the first statement which they have given. Then expand cultivable area under assured irrigation. This is the second statement they have given. Then improve on farm water use efficiency. This is the third statement they have given. So nowhere we find the use of high yield variety seeds or the fertilizers and pesticides. So A is not the correct objective here. The other three are the objectives of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Next question is, in which one of the following places was Asia's first export processing zone was set up in 1965? So answer is Kandla. Now this question we can say is a kind of static question from economy. Either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. If you have read the post-independence history, there you might have read somewhere this that Kandla was the place where they set up the first export processing zone. It was Asia's first export processing zone. So today in country we have a total of 8 export processing zones. Export processing zones, and you should be aware where are these 8 locations. So there are 2 locations in Gujarat, Kandla and Surat is the other location. Then in Maharashtra it is in Santa Cruz, Mumbai. Then in Kerala it is Cochin. Then Tamil Nadu, it is Chennai. So we have Vishakhapatnam, that is Vizag in Andhra Pradesh. Vizag in Andhra Pradesh. Then we have a location called Falta in West Bengal and Noida in UP. And today they have converted these 8 export processing zones into special economic zones, that is SEZ. They have converted them into SEZs. And let me tell you, we have got a question on SEZ. What is the main purpose of setting up SEZ in APFC examination of 2016? So last time when APFC was held, we got a question on SEZ, and in enforcement officer, we got a question from export processing zone, that is EPZ. So this is how we have to correlate the PYQs. On similar lines, they can again ask us the question in coming examinations. Moving on to the last question, which one of the following is the name of scheme introduced as a well-targeted system of service delivery to LPG customers? Now this is quite a tricky question because C and D can be easily eliminated, but you can get confused between Sahaj and Pearl. Now the correct answer here is Sahaj. This Sahaj scheme is basically for online booking of LPG connection. Online booking of LPG connection without going to the distributor. You can apply online for new LPG connection. There is no need to visit the distributor. So this is what is the SURS scheme, and it was launched by Petroleum and Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Now observe question option B as well, that is Pahel. So Pahel was also well targeted system uh, of subsidy delivery. So Pahel talks about subsidy delivery to LPG consumers, and in this, or you can say this is a part of direct benefit transfer DBT. So in this a cash component, or you would say that it some amount of subsidy will be credited back to your account, and this was done basically to avoid the leakages arising out of distribution. So here UPSC had played very smart by giving both the options, Sahaj and Pearl as well. This Pearl was part of Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. So this Pearl was launched under this scheme where subsidy was given to the LPG consumers. So these are the questions of economy from Enforcement Officer 2020 question paper. So out of 6 questions, we can see that three questions are alone are asked from the schemes which are in news. So for this year's examination also we can expect similar questions from government schemes, the flagship schemes or the important schemes which are in news from last 5 years. And while preparing for scheme, you have to prepare the ministry of scheme, then what is the budget allocation to that scheme, then what is the objective of that scheme. These things we have to prepare for any scheme while preparing for economy. So this is what is there from economy section. Don't forget to go through microeconomics as well. As I told you in previous video, we might get questions from microeconomics, especially the demand and supply chapter. Then inflation is one of the most important chapter. Then money and banking is another important chapter. Then we can get question from fiscal policy, and we might get questions from the basics of national income, GDP, GNP, national income, GDP, GNP, NNP, what is factor cost. So we have got questions from these as well. So these are some important topics of economy. So that's it from today's video. If you have any doubt, you can post in comment section. I will try to answer your doubt. In next video, we'll come up with some another subject for PYQ series. So if you like my analysis videos, do share with your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.